Good evening, friends, and again in front of you with the Q&A with Sunil Damania. Market have become volatile, and this is for the right reason. What are the reasons for the market to become a little volatile? Number one, on 20th January, Trump is going to assume the office, and no one knows what the policy action would be. Now, on one hand, if he says illegal immigrants needs to be thrown out, then what happens on the employment front? Because if you look at the data which came out for the job, that is a job opportunity, I'm forgetting the full form now. The data basically says that November, there are a high number of vacancies to be filled actually. Now, if you ask people to go, it will further aggravate the problem. Will he bite the bullet? Another uncertainty now coming up that previously there was expected that 2 rate cuts would happen in this year, that is 2025. And now, yesterday, there seems to be a consensus, seems to be that only 1 rate cut will happen from the Fed in 2025. Budget is less than 3 weeks away. There are a lot of expectation from the budget that government should announce capex revival, at least from the private sector, and of course government has to spend on the public sector. Consumption cycle that has really not done well need a boost, and because of that maybe you should give some kind of a tax cut to revive the consumption cycle. And last but not the least, somewhere we need to bring in the confidence that economy is likely to grow with a handsome pace, and I'll come to that GDP data a little later part of my presentation. As that's not done, we have monetary policy within a 1 week from the budget, and what RBI takes decision. Does it choose to protect the rupee and not cut the rate of interest? Or since the economy needs some amount of a boost, you cut the rate of interest? We will come to this. I think market is little, and of course the earning season is going on. We will get more data, more this one. So market will want to have more clarity what is stored in terms of the result commentary from the tomorrow. TCS is announcing numbers, and I think that will set the tone for the rest of the result season. So yes, and of course the US bond yield in the US is anyway giving some amount of jitter. So it's not only the Indian market that is having a tough time, even the US market is having a little tough time, and the volatility that we are seeing even in the US market has been quite pronounced there. But before I start making presentation, let me put this disclaimer that this webinar is only to enhance your understanding about the equity market. Please consult your financial advisor before buying or selling any stock. Past performance is no indicator of future returns, and investment in securities market are subject to market risk. With this, let's try to understand what is happening. So, normally I put this data in my equity outlook, which I do on the first week of every month. Last time I did not do it this month because we did equity outlook 2025, and I thought let me put some interesting data in front of you people to drive home some of the trend. Of course, all data I'm not going to put which I normally put it. Let me give you something. Election got over in the month of June 2024. And at the end of 2024, we had 439 lakh crore market cap. End of December, we are at 443 lakh crore. So 4 lakh crore, which is less than 1%, has got added from June end to December end. What does it mean? 6 महीने में है, and of course we have seen many IPOs coming out with that. The market has gone nowhere. Now it's a very classical thing. Why I'm talking about that? because there was expectation that if BJP continues the government, we will see the market surging, so on and so forth. Of course, market did move to 475 lakh crore, as you can see in the month of September. But since then, it has been struggling to do that. So when you look at the point-to-point returns from June to December, I think market has gone nowhere. And this is basically clearly gives an idea about what's happening in the market. If you look at the advance decline ratio also, which is in last 2024, it has been quite, almost in 5 months, they were decline in the sense less than one, this one. So it's evenly balanced between advance to decline ratio in the month-on-month basis. And of course, in last 4 months, only 1 month, that is in the month of November, we had seen advance decline ratio more than 1. So that gives you an idea about what's happening in the market. If you look at the turnover, and fortunately in the month of December, this is purely on the cash, NSE cash segment, it marginally increased from 1 lakh crore to 1.04 lakh crore. But the June we touched 1.522 lakh crore, it came down to 1 lakh crore, and there is a marginal improvement happening in the month of December. It's too little early to talk about January because we are just 8 days completed. But the point is that, in fact, if you ask me, I was expecting it to be below 1 lakh crore. Fortunately, it has not happened, and that's a very happy news. But there is a high probability that the market can go below 1 lakh crore, because more I talk with the people in the market, more sense I get that level of activity in the market has come down, and that could be that's the one reason I believe there is a high probability it can go below 1 lakh crore also. It has not happened. Fortunately, that's a good thing for the market. This is an institutional activity, and if you look at it, both FPI invested 15,000 crore, the DI invested 34,000 crore. Now, this number of DI is more critical for us. Why I'm saying so? On an average, the mutual fund get near about 40,000 crore kind of a net inflow. I'm not talking gross inflow. Then we have insurance and other people also. So DI includes everyone. But they've invested only 34,000 crore. So somewhere there has to be some cash pile up which is happening. So they also not. In the month of October, they pumped in 1 lakh crore, which came down to 44,000 crore. This further came down to 34,000 crore. While in December, 15,000 crore, in first 7-8 days in January, the FPI sold actually. And for the full year, FPI invested only 427. It's hardly anything. So my sense is that in 2024, FPI was completely confused. In fact, the kind of money that retail investors made in 2024 is much higher than what FPI made in 2024. Why? Because unka kabhi haa, kabhi na kind of a scenario that was there. But anyway, the data on DI also not looking very promising, because we have seen decline in terms of the money that's been put into the market. And that's of course reflecting in the market cap that we saw from June to December, point to point. December, even the US people know that Trump is coming. What happened to the Dow Jones? Down by 5%. What happened to the S&P 500? Down by 2.5%. And of course, Indian market by 2%, and the Nasdaq was marginally up by 0.39%. This despite Trump coming in, which is supposed to be pro-business, pro-government, and so on and so forth. Somewhere market is little concerned about, I don't know whether it's a high bond, US bond yield, what government is going to do once Trump comes in, what kind of policy action is going to do, and so on and so forth. So we don't know what's happening how the market is like to looking at the things. Historically, how the market has performed in the month of Jan. And if you look at the last 5 January, market gave negative returns. So if you look at 10 years, 6 times market gave negative returns, only 4 times market gave positive returns. Budget expectation, fear, more tax coming in, so on and so forth. It's all plays, and this time we have Trump also coming in, and that's going to basically make the what we call anxiety more. And of course, we have FOMC meeting, we have RBI meeting in a back-to-back. That's also creating someone. Of course, the slowdown in the economy is also playing in the mind of the investors. GDP, and yesterday we all know that government came out with the first initial GDP for FY 2025, and it says that we will grow only at 6.4%. Now that's quite a low number. Why? Because when we started the year, there was an expectation that we will grow more than what we call 7%, and now some people even doubting that we will have 6.4%. Some experts now believe that we can grow at 6%. Some are predicting at 6.2%, and this is what I call it, the herd mentality. I could have imagined if someone would have downgraded the India's GDP much before the government came out with the downward revision. And what is the new data point that they have, which only the fact that they have only new data coming in from the 6 point. So somewhere there seems to be this experts, so-called experts, they keep changing their opinion so fast and so quick that sometimes I really believe, do they have any reasons to then make a prediction also? Because if you are going to change your data point within a one day, nothing seems to have changed in one day, except that government came out with 6.4%. Now we are starting, it's going to go 6 and 6. Anyway, so but if you look at the data, I wanted to have a very interesting data, and I was also looking at this data in a very, this one, because sometimes, we believe that the market and GDP both are linked. I agree with you, but there could be a effect lag and maybe some advance. If you look at it, India was not anyway growing at in excess of 6% before the COVID hit us, because COVID hit us here in March 2020. That is the last Q4 of FY 2020. But 2019 December quarter, completely clean to our quarter, 3.3, 4.3, 5.1, 5.7. So it's the market did not crack so much. Despite 5 quarters in a row, we have seen less than 6% GDP growth. And of course, there are pockets where we have not grown at 6%. But yes, if you look at this data, I think it's been fantastic data in terms of the growth. And 21 and 12, I think is also a base effect. So let's not give too much importance to that kind of a data. So market should be fine as long as government is able to give confidence to the market that yes, the worst is behind us in terms of GDP growth, and we are taking some monetary and fiscal measures to revive the growth in the economy. So I think that's very, very critical. And I think I personally believe this time budget will have a more significance from the market point of view, because market would love to know what government actions are doing. And I must harp on the fact that this time our finance minister has to really come out with a lot of conviction. It has to convince the market that our measures are going to revive the economy. And that's where I think the packaging of the budget assumes a very significance. Of course, this time budget is going to get announced on the Saturday, which normally not a working day for the market, but of course, markets will remain open, and market is going to react to this budget announcement in a very, very careful. This time, finance minister has to package her budget, and a lot of hopes are there that we will see growth, the measures to boost the growth in the economy. And if that happens, I think market will definitely cheer. Otherwise, market will need to search for a new cues to see how we can grow going forward. GST collection, we all know that it grew by 7.3%. But if you look at the data, 1.87 lakh crore, which came down to 1.82 lakh crore, and then further 1.77 lakh crore. And if you look at the net, this is just GST, gross GST collection. Net has grown only by 3.3%, 1.49 lakh crore increased to 1.54 lakh crore. Ultimately, net matters. Why? Because you collected GST from the this, but there was some refunds also that you need to issue. So eventually, what remains with the government is only the net GST, and that gives you also an idea about what kind of robustness there in the tax collection. And remember, if the GDP slows down, it also impacts our fiscal deficit. Why? Because your denominator becomes little smaller size, the numerator becomes little more larger, and the larger is the numerator is a fiscal deficit value divided by GDP. Fiscal deficit as a percent of GDP. Am I right? And that's a challenge. And second thing, the direct tax collection has been quite robust. To great extent, that also credit should go to the STT. To great extent, that should also go to the short-term and the long-term capital gain. But if you look at the last 6 months' behavior, very unlikely that a lot of capital gain would have been made in the short-term or long-term. In fact, I happened to meet someone today, 2 companies. This gentleman lost 5 crore. One is a real estate company, I don't want to name, that's unfair on my part. And one was the NBFC company. And losing 5 crore on 2 companies is not a small amount, am I right? So previously that guy would have made capital gain to the government because he made money. Today this gentleman is losing money. So where is the gain? So my worry is that not only direct tax and indirect tax, even the direct tax collection could see some amount of a softness, because the capital gain that which used to be there in the first half of 2024 is likely to remain a little subdued in the second half of 2024, or maybe even going further in the Jan to March. And that could be the little concern for the government in terms of the tax buoyancy. Since the GST collections are not so great, we all know that corporate earnings have been little subdued. Do not expect too much corporate tax collection, also little buoyancy there. So I think that's where the concern. So I think this time government has to really think through that how do we put more money in the hands of the customer, in the hand of the taxpayers. So they spend money, but without putting pressure on the inflation. So I think they need to look at the demand side, at the supply side, to ensure that while more demand comes in, but it doesn't become inflationary in the economy. FADA came out with the data yesterday, and in fact we presented some data to our PMS customer of a Vahan on last Thursday. Now FADA came out with the data, and if you look at this data, we all know that the company gave little better numbers for the month of December, but the retail sales has been quite. So what is the difference between FADA and the company declaring the numbers? What company gives the numbers is the wholesale numbers. What FADA is nothing but the Federation of Automobile Dealer Association, that is the retail sales. Because what happens, company sells the product to the dealers. Dealers in turn sell products to you and me. And that becomes ultimately, it has a little significance what company sells to the dealer. Ultimately, वो माल तो बिकना चाहिए, customer should buy it. Otherwise, what would happen? It becomes inventory get built up at the dealer's level. So what happened in the month of December at the dealer's level? The Y-on-Y, the two-wheeler sales declined by 17.6%. Why I'm saying so two-wheeler is very critical? Because rural sales has been very good actually. And yet we saw some decline there. If you look at three-wheeler, again 4.5%. Passenger vehicle has seen decline from December to this December, 1.9%. Tractor has been a little bright spot, 25.7%. And commercial vehicle is 5.2. Commercial vehicle also gives what is the state in the economy, state of the economy. For the full year, that is calendar year 2024, two-wheelers grew by 10.7%, the highest in terms of all category, subcategory. Three-wheeler 10.4%, but passenger cars is only 5.1%. So somewhere the fear of EV, somewhere financing, somewhere income not growing as much as it's growing, I think it's all building up into that, and that's where we have seen passenger vehicles. I strongly believe that passenger vehicle sales has to go up in 2025. They need to refresh the products very quickly. There has been a little amount of fatigue that is built in. If you don't come in the products, there is no little urgency by the consumer to buy the product. Tractor sales for the full year has been 2.5, and commercial vehicle almost at the same level what it was there in 2023. not much improvement there. Now, again, I say commercial vehicles is a good indicator of what's happening in the economy. If you happen to listen to the father of press release which has been announced yesterday, don't expect a robust sales even in the month of January. Somewhere government has to play in terms of GST to revive the growth for the automobile. I'm saying, of course, that nothing to do with the budget, but I'm talking about overall. I think somewhere we need a strong policy action from the government to revive the consumption. I think if you ask me what would be my wish list to the finance minister this time, two things. Make measures to revive the capex cycle, both public and the private. And number two, revive the consumption cycle. Because when consumption happens, it also helps capex cycle to do that. So I think, if you ask me, two things government has to focus very clearly. Not only they should focus, they should articulate also extremely well in the budget speech. That's exactly what we are exactly doing. Because sometimes it may be there in the budget, but if you are not articulated well in your budget speech, market will not understand that, and then it can give thumbs down to the budget. So this is what my wish list from the finance minister, two things. Revive capex, both public plus private, and the reviving the consumption cycle. With this, let's open the floor for question answer. Naba is saying, please elaborate what will be the worst and what will be the best effect on Indian market after taking over the charge by Mr. Trump. I wish I had this answer, to be very honest with you. I am not able to read the mind of Mr. Trump. What will he do? How much will he do? What the intensity of that? How long will it take to implement, so on and so forth? Very little clarity. Very little clarity. My advice would be, so I'm making one presentation in one of the IIMs this weekend. And my topic is about the behavioral finance. And one thing which, I was talking about that in the behavioral finance, our bias. We give a lot of importance to the events. And Trump assuming as an event. Budget is an event. FOMC announcing rate cut is an event. RBI monetary policy is an event. Should you decide your investment decision based on these events? And history, if is a great teacher. And what the history teaches us is that please do not give too much importance to these events. Should I or should you be adjusting your investment decision based on these events? The answer is no. Events will come, events will go. You will not remember also those events. And yet, because what matters ultimately is what is your reason to invest in that company. And that reasoning is very strong, then the events will come and go, because ultimately what defines your success? Your success is defined by what you hold in the portfolio, not what happens to the market. As long as you have a clarity, that's why I keep saying, very famous quote, know what you own and know why you own. हमारे पोर्टफोलियो में क्या है वो जानिए, वो क्यों है हमारे पोर्टफोलियो में उसको जानिए. As long as you have that answers, event has a little. If you ask me, I have never given importance to any of these events to adjust my portfolio, because I know what will happen, what will not happen to my portfolio. I don't know what will happen to Trump, what he will come, what announcement, and do I know that for sure कि वो ये करेगा तो ये impact होगा market or no? Sometimes it may be discounted, sometimes may not be discounted, it may be exactly opposite to that. Who would have thought that a Fed reducing the rate of interest will see the yield on the US bond yield going up? If you would have asked me, no. If you have asked many economists, they would have said still no. But the fact of the matter is that it has gone up. From 2002 to 2007, the crude oil price moved up from $200 to $150. Again repeat, $20 per barrel to $150 per barrel. From 2002 to 2007. What happened to the Indian equity market? Indian equity market moved up from 2,000 to 21,000. So logically, the crude oil is not good for the Indian equity market. But Indian equity market equally did well, even if the crude went up. So I think sometimes, giving too much importance to one data point, I'm not a very big fan of that. It's good for the academic purpose, it's good for the, talk purpose. I would never ever basically take investment decision based on these events happening, not happening. As long as what I'm going to invest, if that the clarity of thoughts is there, why should I be bothered? Maybe you can avoid those sectors which could have a direct impact because of Trump coming in, like maybe H-1B visa, that could have an impact on the IT software. But if you look at there also, I think the Indian IT software company did a brilliant job. Not too much impact because, and if you look at the data from when the Trump was there the first term, in fact, IT sector did extremely well. So we need to wait and watch, I don't think, but never ever give too much importance to that. If I have a money right now, I'll put money in the equity market. I will not try to basically make prediction or make assumption or do forecast. If Trump comes, what happens? If Trump doesn't come, or if Trump does this, what will happen? If Trump does this, this will happen. It's all useless exercise. I don't think I will be able. I would like to do that. Usman is saying, what is your view on the battery sector and can continue to hold battery sector stocks for long-term perspective? My sense is yes. I think we have two listed players within the battery space, and both are talking about setting up a battery for the EV. And EV is the future, whether we like it or not. So please continue to hold this. One of the battery players is also our stock of the month. We have not closed that. So please continue to hold. Rajan sir is saying market seems to be dilly-dallying every day, a day with 200, 300 points up and the other days in negative. The market is unstable perhaps till the budget day. The only thing that maybe enthuse market it is only when the federal budget comes to the fore on 1st Feb. Appreciate your expert comment views. So you are right, Rajan sir, I think. But see, again, today, the reason why market is dilly-dallying not only because of budget. I think there are genuine concerns on the economy. There are genuine concerns on what Trump will do, not do. And it's not only Indian market. If you look at the global market, that's behaving that way. So what I've realized, and one can always learn from the other people's experience. You don't have to basically go through that experience yourself. What I've realized in my 30 years experience is that do not give that too much importance to that events. Events will come, it will go. It will have negative impact temporary, it can have positive temporary impact. Eventually, the market is a slave to the earnings. If budget comes out extremely good, but the earnings growth doesn't revive for some unknown reason, what would happen? मार्केट का जो यूफोरिया होगा डाई डाउन हो जाएगा. तो आई थिंक यू आर राइट, इट्स dilly-dallying. Don't give, as I was explaining to Naba also, it makes little sense to give too much focus on the events. Events will come, go. No one talks about events after. No one talks about general election now to me. Event हो गया 6 महीने, it's a big event which happens once in 5 years. Budget comes once a year. So don't give it, yes, market needs reasons to be volatile. I've written one nice blog also, the Teflon effect on the market. So there was a period where the undercurrent in the market was so strong, none of the negative news was sticking to the market. That's why I said Teflon effect. टेफ्लॉन में क्या है, कोई चिटकता कोई नहीं चीज. So it's all function of sentiment. If the sentiments are strong, even if there's a negative news, market can absorb. But when sentiments are weak, even the good news cannot lift the market sentiment. It's like your body immunity system. If your body is quite strong in terms of immune system, very strong, if the virus attacks you, it doesn't आपको हिलाता नहीं हो, आपको कोई ज़्यादा impact नहीं करता है. But if your immune systems are weak, even the weakest of the weakest virus can basically disturb your system. So I think this is the thing. So I think budget, good, bad, I think what we need to focus is on that. What is the underlying? Will Indian corporate earnings growth? And I think today what we need is a strong commentary from the India Inc. We all know that Infosys is not giving hike to the employees because of the uncertain market environment. Now that doesn't give enough confidence. Okay, so I think what we need to do is the earnings growth, and I think that's a very, very critical. So if you ask me very frankly, I would like to listen to the commentary from the India Inc., the body language, to get that. Having said that, in fact, this is the market is also giving a good opportunity for us to buy. Because event is not going to remain, the sentiment is not going to remain so low forever. It may remain for 1 month, it may remain for 2 months, it may remain for 3 months. But this is the way time. So, there's a very famous saying from Warren Buffett: be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. And that's exactly what I'm saying. If others are fearful, try to be greedy. Use this as an opportunity, this as a dip in the market to put more money in the market. Of course, 3 months you may underperform, 6 months you may underperform. That's fine, because we are not here for short term. But eventually we all make good money. Those who invested in March 2020, when there was a fear gripped the market, the whole world came to standstill. They're making a good amount of money, which they may not have made in their last 20 years. That kind of money they made in last 5 years. Because unfortunately, this is the 5th anniversary from the COVID. March 2020, March 2025. 5 साल होने वाला है. Johnson, we are expecting the market to bounce back in September as per prediction. It has become January and still market is still muddling through. Will it be a good idea to invest in silver and gold in that order till the market shows some upward momentum? So Johnson, sir, I said many times in the past, and I'll again repeat for the benefit of you and others also. Gold and silver should never be the function of your view on the price movement of gold and silver. It should be a part of your assets allocation strategy. 10 to 15% assets allocation you should make in silver and gold, or gold and silver, whatever the order you want to put it. If it is less, please increase. If it is more, please don't do that. Or market, आपको कैसे, okay, when will you get some upward momentum? At what point of time you will get a comfort level the market is an upward momentum? Should you buy low or should you buy high? That's a question you need to ask. If the market is down today, and if you are very sure that in 12 months down the line the market is going to do well, then might well as well invest. Na, kya taklif hai? You cannot time the market to the perfection. My worry, sir, with you is that you are trying to time the market to the perfection. Warren Buffett बेचारा नहीं कर पा रहा है. We all know every rise Warren Buffett is selling Apple shares, and Apple shares keep going up. जब Warren Buffett नहीं कर पा रहा है तो हम लोग कौन से खेत की मूली? That's a हिंदी में saying, am I right? Who are we basically that will be able to time the market to the perfection? So don't do that. Yes, invest in silver and gold ETF if your allocation is less than 10 to 15%. If it is about 10-15%, don't do that. Please put that money in equity. Naman sir is saying markets are volatile. I have major investment in small and financial institutional banks. What is your view on them for 2 years? Naman sir, my worry is that I don't know what is your risk appetite or your risk profile. but the way you drafted a sentence, it gives me an impression that you have extremely very aggressive risk profile. Because when you say major investment in small financial institutions and banks, that means you are running a too much exposure to the similar kind of business, which makes your portfolio, it's a high risk, high reward kind of a scenario. Do you have an appetite for that? If you're a conservative investor, if you're a moderate investor, then I think you are taking a too much risk, which doesn't gel well with your risk appetite. So be first, and I keep saying again, I met very funny thing actually. He said, सर मैंने 3 मॉडल पोर्टफोलियो बनाए हैं आपकी वेबसाइट पे. तो मैंने बोला 3 बनाने की क्या जरूरत है? यू कुड हैव एडेड मोर इनटू द सेम पोर्टफोलियो. नहीं सर, मैंने कंजर्वेटिव बनाया है, मैंने मॉडरेट बनाया है और मैंने एग्रेसिव बनाया है. बोला भाई साहब आप आदमी एक हो कि आदमी 3 हो? बोलता आदमी एक हूँ. भाई आप आदमी एक हो तो आपकी रिस्क प्रोफाइल 3 अलग अलग कैसे हो सकती है? So I think somewhere you as an investor need to first understand what is my risk appetite, what is my risk profile. And based on that, you should decide. Again, I started this episode, one of our PMS customers, he came and confessed to me. Again, I'm repeating for you, this gentleman invested in one small finance bank, 60% in one company of the total portfolio. That script went down by 40%. ये लास्ट मंथ की बात है. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट वन कंपनी हिज पोर्टफोलियो इज डाउन बाय 24%, कीपिंग एवरीथिंग एल्स एज इट इज. तो मैंने बोला आपको इतना रिस्क एपेटाइट? बोला नहीं सर, ये पता ही नहीं चला मैंने कैसे इतना ले लिया. सो दैट्स व्हाई नो व्हाट यू ओन एंड आस्क व्हाई यू ओन. ओके, कमिंग बैक टू माय व्यू ऑन द स्मॉल फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन एंड बैंक्स. I personally believe, and if you go back to my equity outlook 2024-25, I said that private sector banks should do very well in 2025. Some of the microfinance institutions are facing some problem, and today if you look at some of the microfinance companies did extremely well because government may come out with some relaxation for them. In what form they come out, how they come out, I don't know. If you have invested in a good quality small financial institution, please rest assured you will make money in 2 years. If you invest in good quality banks, rest assured you will make money in those 2 years, in next 2 years. But I don't know what is the composition of that, and that's very, very critical. If you are getting too much confused on this word, please use our score available on the site. That will help you to do that. But I'm not a big fan of taking too much risk in one particular sector, because then it turn out to be a high risk strategy, high return strategy, unless you are game for it. Ramesh sir is saying, what are the FI's main concern in Indian market? Why are they relentlessly selling and not returning despite strong macros there? I would be very happy to have your analysis and up to what time they will remain so. So Ramesh sir, if you go back to my equity outlook 2025, I have stated that FPI will be net positive in 2025. They will put in more money in the Indian equity market than what they did in 2024, despite they are sellers in the market. I don't get carried away by the recency bias. If you go back 2023, which is a record inflow from FPI, I had come in front of you and said, don't expect that kind of inflow. In fact, we muted inflow in 2024, which I predicted in January 2024, when everyone was saying that FPI is going to put more money. I never predicted. And again, I'm saying so, FPI will come back strongly to the Indian equity market. So don't get carried away by first 1 week of 2025 data. They will come back. Our macros will improve. Our corporate earnings will improve. I don't know whether it will start improving from January to March quarter or April, but they will improve. I'm very sure this is a government which will come out with the good measures to revive the economy. I'm so sure that RBI will come out with the rate cuts, and my prediction is that first rate cut will happen on the 7th Feb 2025, which is less than 1 month from now. And I do expect 2 more rate cuts after Feb 2025 rate cut in 2025. So I'm pretty sure that FPI will come back very strongly in the Indian equity market. And net inflow from FPI in 2025, net inflow, again I harp on the word net, will be much higher than what it was there in 2024. So ज़्यादा टेंशन मत लो सर. Can I, Murthy sir is saying, can I wait till budget in trimming of my heavy holding as New Year disappointed quite a bit? My holding contains mostly small and macro plus 15% large cap. Sir, I will not be able to give a general reply to this because ultimately what matters is the stock that you hold in your portfolio. It may be a small cap, it may be a micro cap, but if it is a good quality company and the story remains strong, why should you get out of that? In the same way, you may be having a large cap, but not so great. Then why should you hold that? So I think in general, we should not come to any conclusion because, last year was good for the market, but bank like IndusInd Bank disappointed 2020 negative returns दिया उसने. You look at Hindustan Unilever, great company, negative returns दिया. Market did well, it did not do well. Tata Motors, one of the best performing company in Nifty 50 in 2023, did not perform in 2024. The point is that what is that company you have? And I think that's going to define what returns you should make. And don't get too much disappointed by short-term underperformance. I don't know, I think somewhere failure is mine. It's not yours. Okay, somewhere I'm not able to articulate my thoughts with you people. Okay, don't get too much perturbed by short-term underperformance or overexcited by the outperformance. The real money has to be made in a long term. और बड़ा पैसा बनता है वहाँ पे. Despite you might have underperformed, but as long as you have outperformed on a period of 3 to 5 years, you create long, good amount of wealth for you. So don't get too much worried about what happened, disappointed first 8 days of 2025. Don't get too much perturbed. And I think, since I don't know what companies are referring to, my advice would be look at the score of the company available on the MarketsMojo website and take a call on that. Having said that, now there could be some companies which will do very well in small caps also and mid cap also. But overall, we strongly believe in 2025, as a basket, large cap should do well as compared to mid cap and as compared to small cap. I hope Murthy sir, I've explained you. In case you got confused with my answer, please put it up and I'll be more than happy to further clarify on that. Suhas sir, I would like to know the demerger ITS Hotel stock future. Whether it be buy when listed. Sir, I have time and again said that I'm not the right person to ask company specific. My compliance team has strictly warned me not to give company specific view. I have been barred by my compliance team. If they listen to this webinar, they will be really angry with me. So please, sir, don't put me in a very embarrassing situation. You all know that I have stopped giving company specific advice. So please don't do that. As and when the company get listed, our system will throw a score, may not be immediately, but after some time, and based on that, you do that. Having said that, give me more broader perspective now, because I don't want to disappoint you, because you have come with a lot of expectations from me. So, this demand for the hotel sector is going to remain extremely strong. In the last budget, government did announce various measures for the hotel sector. I am not privy to the budget speech, but I can tell you with a lot of confidence, the budget on 1st Feb 2025 will also have an announcement for the hotel sector. Because Government of India wants to promote tourism. There's a very nice article I was reading. India has almost, please pardon me if my numbers are a little wrong, okay? 44 or 45, 43, if my memory serves me, UNESCO heritage site. India. India is the only country, I believe, in the world which has hill station, which has beaches, which has so many UNESCO heritage sites. And when you compare that, Dubai, not a single UNESCO heritage site. But they get more number of traveler tourists as compared to India. And I think government of India is very serious about that. Budget will get so much announcement, so much flip to the tourism sector. Because, see, there are a couple of reasons why government will do that. I'll also explain you why. Tourism boosts the local economy. Tourism brings in a lot of forex. Tourism employ the local people and generate local employment. Tourism becomes a good brand ambassador to India for the outside world. Now, these are the benefits of that. And that's why budget will have very strong announcement for the hotel segment. That much I can tell you. Company specific, I will not be able to reply. Frank is saying Trump could declare national economic emergency to justify universal tariff. CNN reports. What is your thinking on this? Sir, everyone is making all sorts of assumption, all kind of hypothetical questions. Please wait. We just need to wait for 12 more days. And as I told you, no event in this in the world market has changed the course of the market. It has always been upside. We had seen WTC crisis 9/11. We had seen global financial crisis. We have seen COVID crisis. And yet indices kept on moving. ये कोई crisis story है anyway. So let him announce whatever he has to announce. See, try to understand. बोलना बहुत easy है, करना बहुत difficult होता है life में. There are a lot of permutations and comments. There are a lot of repercussions that is happening. We need to all understand Trump is a businessman. He understands business well. He will not do something which looks very exciting in the short run, but turn out to be a little disaster in the medium to long run. So, if you ask me, economic emergency, national economic emergency, Trump will announce, I doubt. But I can go 100% wrong also. I don't want to judge anything. I don't want to preempt anything. And I think let's not go into that hypothetical question and give a hypothetical answer to that. Let's not do that. Venugopal, Happy New Year to you. Everyone at MarketsMojo, thank you, sir. Happy New Year to you and everyone in your family too. Please convey our regards to everyone in your family too. What is your opinion about US technology stocks due to AI, semiconductors? Will it do well in 2025? So Venugopal, sir, my sense is that too many good things are there in the price. And hence, further upside from this level looks a little challenging. So I have always been a little contra in my life. When everyone wants to buy, I would stay back. Because, and if you remember private sector banks, and I think we were one of the first one to say that nothing could go wrong with private sector banks 2 years back. NPAs are coming down, NIM was expanding, loan growth bookers, and we said, from this level, ये तो हनीमून है जैसा पीरियड था उनका, सब कुछ सही हो रहा है, यहाँ से अच्छा क्या हो सकता है? Okay, and then we said advice थोड़ा नीचे जा सकता है, and did underperform in this. तो मुझे लगता है अभी सब कुछ पॉजिटिव डिस्काउंट हो रहा है. And having said that, for the country as a whole, US market, equity market as a whole, we believe 2025 may not be the great year for the US equity market. And that includes even AI and semiconductors. And I can go wrong. Please take my prediction with tons of salt. I've gone wrong with my prediction in the past also. And I will go wrong even in the future. Mayur is saying kindly advise Bank Nifty level since along with normal investment trading in Bank Nifty options and futures as well. Sir, I don't have any Nifty bank level in my mind, sir. I have not calculated also. I do believe, and that's my assumption, that's my belief, that's my prediction, which can go wrong. I do believe that Bank Nifty will outperform Nifty 50 in 2025. I also gave in my equity outlook what percentage of probability of Nifty giving 10 to 15% return. If you have not happened to listen to that webinar, please, it's available on the YouTube. Please watch that webinar. You will get an idea. I do believe, and that's my assumption, that's my belief, that Nifty 50 will outperform Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty will outperform Nifty 50 in 2025. Now you can make your guess how many bips higher than the Bank Nifty. Nifty 50. Rajiv is saying, would it be possible to say the PMS performance Jan 2727? Definitely, sir, we can say that. Amir, sir, we'll send you the details to you on an email. Tomorrow morning, first thing you'll get it, sir. Sagar Parikh, I must admit that Marco is not just an advisory platform but a school in which Guruji likes you, teaches great lessons, and how we can teach investment journey to our children's ages from 12 years onwards. Your thoughts, and also in the market, do you see it soft H1 too far till June and H1 2 is stronger? And H1 is the time to put more money due to volatility. Also in existing model portal, how can we put money these in tranches 3, 4 or lump sum? So thanks a lot, sir. And I think I sincerely believe, and I hope someone from Ministry of Education is listening to this webinar. I strongly believe that financial planning should be a subject from the school level. The way we have maths, the way we have other subjects in our school level, which is also there in the college level. Am I right? Why not financial planning? It should be there for every stream, whether it should be arts, whether it's a science, whether it's a commerce. In fact, today I met one gentleman, both husband and wife both came down to our office. He admitted that in my life I have not understood the equity market, and I've started understanding and made good money only after listening to your webinars. And this gentleman was in a very senior position in one of the listed company. So point why I wish to convey that financial planning should be a subject matter, and I'm happy, sir, that we should teach. In fact, somewhere, we as a parents also has our role to do. We don't teach our children financial planning. हम लोग दूसरा दुनिया भर का ज्ञान दे देते बच्चे लोग को. वो जो क्रिटिकल है उसको सक्सेसफुल होने के लिए वो नहीं सिखाते, which is financial planning. I don't know why we are little afraid of preaching the finance as a topic with our children. I've seen many parents, they don't want to disclose their assets and their liabilities with their children. Maybe you may have a valid reason, but थोड़ा तो उसको hint दे दो क्या है, कैसे है. Please explain them what you earn, where you spend your money, how you spend, why you spend. At least give them some gyan on that. Inculcate that habit of financial planning from the early stage. They may not understand, they may not fully appreciate that. But eventually they will appreciate that and they will thank you. Otherwise, we need to blame our parents only if we have not been taught financial planning. It was their responsibility also, na? Government may or may not do it. That's a government problem. But आपका तो जवाब जिम्मेदारी आपका बच्चा है. आपकी तो जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि नहीं बनती है बच्चे को सिखाने के लिए. And that's why I personally believe. In fact, I've seen many family where people don't have an insurance. They don't have a mediclaim. These are the basic things of financial planning that has not been taught. मैं तो बोलता हूँ आप लोग को बच्चे को maybe once in a month, and of course it should not be taught in such a manner it becomes cumbersome. You should explain them in a very friendly manner and they give an example in a live manner. Okay, then they appreciate that. Now coming back to your question about second half, first half, Clearly, sir, I don't have a handle on that, to be very honest with you. Uh, we do believe that this year, 2025, it will not be a very broad-based rally, it will be more narrow rally. There is a high probability that large cap do better than the mid and small cap. If you have money, please put money. If you have the money, put now only. But if you are not very sure of the, because see, ultimately wealth creation should not come at the cost of mental peace. If you are still not very sure, तो लगता है कि मार्केट थोड़ा ऊपर से हो सकता है, then invest in 3-4 tranches, completely depending upon your comfort level. But remain invested. I think that's the message I want to convey to you. If I have money, I would put immediately. Because I don't know how the market is going to behave tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and so on and so forth. And I said tomorrow, not literally tomorrow. Okay? But if you think, but you say, no, यार मैं पैसा डालूंगा फिर मुझे टेंशन हो जाता है. Then at the cost of mental peace, I don't want to do that. Then invest in 3-4 tranches. If you are comfortable with 3 tranches, invest in 3 tranches. If you are comfortable with 4 tranches, invest in 4 tranches. Eventually, both will make a lot of money because you are not investing this money for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. You are eventually investing this money for the long term. If that is the case, whether you invest lump sum or 3.9, it's almost, if you ask me very frankly, at the end of 10 years, both will have very similar kind of returns. I can tell you that with a lot of confidence. Prabhakar says, please start putting target for recommended stock as we see stock going up and then coming down and we keep watching. It's a fair question, Prabhakar sir. In our stock of the week, we do have a target price. In our stock of the month, we do advise you to exit at the appropriate time. In our model portfolio also, sir, we do give you an advice when to exit. Not only that, we also tell you which company to replace with. Are you saying target price for each and every stock that is available on the site? I'm afraid we don't have that at this point of time. I don't think that's a project, is also work in progress. But my request would be as follows, sir, Prabhakar sir. When Mohit comes in front of you, please put this question. He is the best person to answer that. I am actually will not be able to answer that. But whatever my limited understanding at this point of time, I don't think we have any project which we are working on where we can give a target price on each and every company score that is available on the site. I don't think we have that project on live right now. Mohan Kumaran sir, GST rate has to be reduced from the maximum to 28%. Nearly 1/3 of the cost price of a product which have to give as a GST. The interest rates for the primary sector has also to be reduced. Also, the inflation starts from there itself, so goes all the way to the top. If I'm all for 50 bips rate cut, do you agree? I don't think so. A 50 bips rate cut will come. The reason I don't believe, and I can go wrong also, is the inflation is little sticky right now. So I think the first step that RBI will do is a baby step. And you are right, maximum rate of 28%, not necessarily that we should reduce maximum rate. The number of items in the 28 bucket should get reduced. But I think that bucket of 28 should remain. Because there are certain products which should be taxed at 28%. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay, like for example, luxury cars. Let that be the higher rate, because who buys luxury cars? Those who have money with them. Am I right? So if they can, the rich people are paying more for that. That's fine. But some of the products, which are not luxury products, which are not sin products, I think that product should come out from the 28% whatever bucket. That I agree with you. Sandeep is saying, should I start investing in equity shares or as a new investor or after budget? Sir, do what gives you comfort level, whether you invest now or you invest after budget. After 10 years, returns would be almost similar. Now, one is that if you want to have a mental peace and more comfort level, start investing after budget. You said short-term world does not matter to me, start investing now. If I would be in your place, I would start investing now. Who knows कि market नीचे ही जाएगा. If suppose market run up, then you will miss out on the rally also. And then the thought will come, hey, let me wait for some time. Let the market correct and then let me invest. And that wait can become more longer. So timing the market to the perfection is practically impossible. For एक बार जिस दिन आपके दिमाग में एक ख्याल आ गया ना, I think what is needed is self-realization. एक बार realize हो गया ना कि I cannot time the market to the perfection, then you will behave differently. पर आपके दिमाग में अभी भी वो है कि I know I'm smarter than the market, I can time the market to the perfection. फिर तो भगवान आपका भला करे. I think Amir, we don't have questions or we are running short of time.
We have a lot of questions.
Let's take 5 more questions, yeah, please. आपको जल्दी नहीं है ना? ठीक है. Shyam Singh ji, whether marking a portfolio by investing in every stock of the month is a right strategy? Answer is right, provided you don't take too much exposure. See, always remember in life, the investors, those who made money and tons of money in the equity market are those who have taken portfolio approach, not those who have taken stock approach. As I told you, I met someone today morning, 5 crore lost in 2 companies because he lost 5 crore because he has not taken portfolio approach. So take a portfolio approach with every stock, keeping in mind that how much I'm going to allocate to each and every company. I'm not doing too much exposure to one particular sector or one particular market cap or one particular company. So take portfolio. You've asked portfolio, but you should take portfolio approach also with the stock. And it's a right strategy, nothing wrong with that. In such a volatile time, should we go for a model portfolio in one go? Answer is yes. What of HMPV spreads? How much downfall we can expect? Please guide. I don't think HMPV is an episode to discuss about it also. Don't get too much caught up. I think it's a known virus, not as lethal as what COVID was or COVID is. Rest assured, even if the market goes down for some reason because of this, use that as an opportunity to buy rather than panicking. Okay, I hope I've answered each and every part of your question, Shyam sir. 4 more. Maximum downside and upside of market like your prediction every year. Nimesh sir, the reason I've given, purposefully I have not given this. And I'll tell you why. What I've realized, when I give a downside risk to the market, many investors, unfortunately, did not start their investment journey waiting for the market to come down to that level. And I was really feeling so guilty that because of my one stupid statement, these people did not make money. And everyone has to learn from the mistakes. I have also learned, and I said, boss, मैं नहीं देने वाला हूँ downside to the market. मेरे पास ऐसा कोई magic formula नहीं है where I can be 100% sure that this is the downside to risk to the market. And I've gone terribly wrong, as you all know. I predicted that Nifty can go down to 19,000 level in 2024. It never even go below 20,000. Now, unfortunately, some investors take it as a cast in the stone and they were waiting for 19,000 to happen. And they did not participate. So, sir, क्या होता है? I don't want my prediction to be counterproductive. Instead of helping investors to make money, they're staying away from the market. So that's the reason I purposefully not given the downside. In upside, I've just given. If you go back to Nimesh sir, my equity outlook, I did given what is the probability of 0 to 5%, what is the probability of negative, what is the probability of 10 to 15%, and so on and so. I've given that range. That should give you an idea what is the upside I'm talking about. Last 3. इंद्र रेड्डी सेवा शंकर रेड्डी सर बहुत लंबा सवाल पेश है विद लॉट ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट टू यू सिंस आई मेड गुड प्रॉफिट्स आफ्टर मोजो प्रीमियम मेंबरशिप हाउ टू थैंक यू विद फुल हार्ट थैंक यू सर सर वी आर जस्ट डूइंग अवर जॉब इट्स अवर ड्यूटी we are not doing any favor to you sir how Mojo PMS is differentiated with other PMS services purely on trust factors I'm little skeptical about PMS fund managers manipulate such things such that they gain personally via related party transaction instead of customers. Please advise on PMS. I like model product. Please pick my question. Sir, your PMS money will be managed by me. Now, the question that you need to ask yourself, am I going to make money at your cost? I can tell you with a lot of confidence the kind of principle that MarketsMojo, everyone at Market, forget about me. I think the kind of culture Mohit and Joyson has imbibed in this organization is that everyone in this organization take investors' interest at the top of the thing. We always see investor interest comes first, then our interest. We will never ever do anything which comes at the cost of our customers. And hence, sir, I don't want to talk about other PMS fund managers. I don't know what they do and how they do it. In our PMS, you can expect 100% transparency, 100% trust, and 100% honesty. Our IP that we have in our PMS is quite superior as compared to the IP that we have in our model portfolio. And due to that, the returns that we will make in a block of 3 to 5 years in PMS would be far superior as compared to the model portfolio. I'll send you our details about PMS. You can review that. And if you get convinced 100%, I use the word 100%. Even if you are not, if you are convinced only 99.99%, please don't come to PMS. If you are convinced, even if you have doubt 0.01%, please don't come to PMS. Once you are convinced 100%, then only come to a PMS. मुझे एक question भेज देना, उस सर को भिजवा देंगे हम details. Rajgav is saying, never understood why farm income beyond certain level does not come under tax net. There are many wealthy farmers in India. The middle class has been taking the tax load for freebies that have only vote bank intent. Do you think that India is due for a complete overhaul in the taxation and this will be a major boost for equity? I 100% in sync with your statement. I do believe that farm income certain beyond should be taxed, but unfortunately, this is a very sensitive topic. Extremely sensitive. We all know MSP के ऊपर agitation हो रहा है. So government, has to also think through that what are the repercussions that can have, and what kind of revenue I'm going to get out of that by doing that. And then how do we basically verify this farm income is right? Because if you say my threshold is 1 crore, I'm just giving an example. Then people will are smart enough to see that they get stuck at 90 lakhs only. So that आपको पर agitation जितना हो जाएगा. And second thing, the farmers also vote bank. Remember that. I don't think it's going to happen. I wish that should happen, but I don't think it's going to. So sometimes one has to be realistic also in what is practically possible, what is practically not possible. मेरा हिसाब से taxing wealthy farmers doesn't look like a practically possible. So I ruled out that possibility. Overall of the complete taxation, I think it's a work in progress. The new direct tax code is being underwritten. I don't think anything will happen in this budget because it's still not complete. But maybe we should expect before the next budget the complete overall in the direct tax this one. Savari Thampi sir, this is second last or last? Okay. You have said that the FM needs to do something to improve capex and concern. Can you explain some of the very specific steps that markets will welcome? again my personal opinion, not Markets Mojo, Mojo PMS or Markets Mojo opinion. One is that you announce the capex. Second thing, that money has to be spent also now. And I want FM to give not only the yearly capex plan, give a breakup of how I'm going to spend first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and the fourth quarter. कैपेक्स प्लान क्या था, 11 लाख करोड़ दिया था. वी आर गोइंग टू स्पेंड लेस देन 10 लाख करोड़ इन FY 2025 द कैपेक्स. सो फर्स्ट थिंग आई वांट दैट काइंड ऑफ ग्रेन्युलरिटी कमिंग इन कि भाई आप दो हमें पता चले ना, बिकॉज देन द व्यू, अदरवाइज यू हैव टू वेट टिल द फुल ईयर एंड टू अंडरस्टैंड वो हुआ कि नहीं हुआ. सो दैट्स वन. Second thing, government has to revive the capex from the private sector. And there I want government to give some incentive, me as a private player, to set up the plan. The PLI is one of the classical things that they did. I think we need more kind of PLI to come in. With the time frame. So that's the second thing I would expect from the FM. Clearly spelling out. Number 3, the consumption. Today the problem is the consumption is that people don't have money to spend. Maybe the EMI is high because rate of interest are high. Give more money in the hands of the customer. When you have money, then you will spend. And that is the way you reduce the tax slab rate. And once you do that, I think it creates a feel-good factor. When do you spend more? Do you spend more when you are feeling depressed, or you spend more when you have a feel-good factor? You normally spend more when you have a feel-good factor. I'll give you a classical example. So I was talking with someone, he said, आज मैं जाके शॉपिंग करके आया. And he did 4 or 5 lakhs of shopping in Geo World Plaza. तो बोला भाई क्या आज क्या स्पेशल था, तेरा बर्थडे था, वेडिंग एनिवर्सरी था, क्या था कि तूने इतना स्पेंड कर लिया? आज मेरा पोर्टफोलियो बहुत अच्छा चला. Now that portfolio is only a notional gain, am I right? It's a feel-good factor. That guy would never spend 5 lakhs if the day his portfolio is down. I can tell you with confidence. And of course, you look at your psychology also. So I think somewhere government has to create that feel-good factor. The feel-good factor can come by reducing the tax slab rate. Feel-good factor can happen by announcing certain measures which give confidence to the consumers that economy is going to do extremely well, and that's what is needed. So sometimes it's not only the content, but how do you deliver that content is also equally important. And I want this time government to focus, finance to focus more on the delivery of that content, which creates a feel-good factor to revive the consumption and the capex cycle. Ishwari, how can I be profitable? I'm new to MarketsMojo. Very simple. We have various products on our platform, ma'am. We have Mojo stocks. We have model portfolio, 3 risk appetite, conservative, moderate, and aggressive. Every 10th of the month, we come out with the stock of the month. Every Monday, we come out with the stock of the week. You can use one, you can use all four products in whichever manner you want to do to create wealth from the equity market. This is the best way you can make your journey in the equity market profitable. I know we have more questions to be taken up, but in the interest of the time, in fact, again, the same couple that came today to our office, the husband was complaining that he basically cast that what we call webinar, our webinar on the TV. तो बोलता वाइफ का टीवी से देखना बंद हो जाता है, तो वो फिर चिल्लाती है मुझ पर. I know it's almost 8:20 now. So many family must be little concerned कि आप तो खाना आपका लेट हो गया होगा, या you are not giving enough time to your family members, and they must be cursing me कि सुनील दमानिया आके 1 घंटे से ज़्यादा ले जाए टाइम. So I think in the interest of everyone, I need to conclude this webinar. Rest assured, the question that we have not been able to take up, please put in my next webinar and we'll try to see that we can accommodate that also. With this, good night. Take care.